Let's continue with transformation features. We have already seen transformation features once before. We have seen those transformation features in the sketcher environment where we were actually transforming the sketches we have created. We have seen the transformation features for moving as well as copying with or without constraint. If you want to move or copy your sketch with or without your constraints, then we can use transformation feature in the sketcher environment. Here this transformation feature toolbar is actually for the transformation of bodies, transformation of parts you have created. So the transformation features we have are similar, like translate, rotate, symmetry. This is a new axis to axis. Then mirror. Then patterns we have, and scaling. So some of the transformation features are similar, which we have seen before, and some of the transformation features we have new. But these transformation features are actually applicable on features or your bodies, not on the sketches. Again, when you will apply these features, there will be a whole new feature added in your feature tree. In case of sketcher, when we were applying the features or when we were applying the transformations, there was no such history of that. Here we will have a history of transformation as well. Starting with first feature named as translation. Select it. Yes, as soon as you will select the transformation feature, it will ask you, do you really want to keep the transformation specification? If you do not want to move your geometry using the compass or 3D constraint, so for this I will say yes, I want to keep the transformation specification. I want my component to be moved. I want my component to be shifted. I'll say yes to this. Then I will have to focus on the translation window. Translation window says select the direction and select the distance. It is not asking me what to transform. Software has not asked me what to transform. Means whatever I have created in the history so far, the complete thing will be transformed. Let's select the direction, in which direction I want it to be transformed, and go for the distance. Say like this, say OK. The complete thing is actually transformed from its original location. But when I had created the sketch, I had created the sketch on the origin. Just check the sketch. A sketch is as it is available at its location. So what has happened is, whatever I had created, the same thing is being just translated. It is not shifted from its location. Sketch is as it is, pad is as it is, other features are also as it is available. The visualization of that thing is actually translated. It has been actually shifted from its original position. We can use these transformation features as an advantage while we have to check multiple positions of a particular part. Say I want to check different locations of a particular part in an assembly. In that case, I can go for transformation features. I will change the position, rotate it or translate it or adjust the position as per the requirement. Go to the assembly, check it whether it is feasible, then I can continue. If it is not feasible, I can come back to part design environment and again I can change the position. This is one of the advantage. You don't need to assemble that particular part multiple times at different locations. This can be an advantage for your transformation feature. Another transformation feature is rotate. Again, rotate will ask me the same thing. Do you really want to keep the transformation specification? Whenever software is asking me to keep the transformation specification, the same thing is happening, that it is not asking me what to transform. I'll select the axis, say this one, go for the rotation angle. It has not asked me what I want to transform. Whatever I have created so far, everything will be transformed, and that too whatever I have created before the feature where I am applying, that will be transformed. Symmetry, select it. It will also not ask me what to transform, it will just ask me for the reference, about which reference I want this thing to be symmetry. Say about this reference, say OK. It has been symmetried. The parent is actually deleted and the child has been created. And if you want, say I had defined the rotation, if I'll delete the rotation feature from here, then this rotation will not be applicable on that. Other transformation features are automatically be updated. You can see it is asking me to delete all children's. I don't want to delete all the children's, then I'll keep this like this. So it has not rotated, it has just symmetried only. So like this I can work with the different positions. This I'll tell you later on in this video only. Next we have mirror. Now we have an option available for selection what exactly you want to mirror. Mirroring element about which you want it to be mirrored, I will say about this, but what exactly you want to mirror, it is asking you object to mirror frame. If you have not selected anything, then it will show you the current solid, means whatever is created will be mirrored. But I want to mirror something which is of my selection, then I will go for selection of that. Say I just want to mirror the whole, that's it. You can see a mirrored image is projected over here. When I'll say OK, this mirror has been created, but it will not be visible to me. Why? Because there is no such material available. Just to check that material, what I will do, I will delete this symmetry, I will delete this rotate as well. You can see the mirror is created. I will delete this translate as well. Now you can see this is the mirrored image and this is the parent whole. When you mirror a particular feature, it is not necessary that it should be whole only, it can be anything or any group of features. When you mirror that, what happens? It maintains the parent-child relationship. If you will make any changes in your parent, say I am changing the diameter, it will automatically be reflected to its child. If you have made any changes in your parent feature for the mirror, it will be automatically updated in your child feature or features. This is what your transformation feature is. I'll delete this mirror for now. Let's have a look at another feature. Another feature for the transformation is actually patterns. Rectangular pattern, circular pattern and user pattern. I'll go for rectangular pattern, select it. Again this rectangular pattern will ask me what to mirror. If you have not selected anything over here, then complete part you have created will be considered for pattern. Say I'll select whole. Now it is asking me for the parameters, first direction, second direction. I'll select the direction, say in this direction I want to mirror. Yes, how many instances I want and how many what will be the spacing between them. If you have that thing available, select that and give the values. If you have instances and length available, then give the instances and total length. Say I want 5 instances in total length of 100 mm. It will adjust. I don't need to calculate it. If I have spacing available that I want total 5 elements and distance between 2 should be 30, then like that it will create. This is the case. If you have spacing and length, you don't have any idea about the quantity, then you can go for this option, spacing and length. Define the spacing you want, define the total length you have, you will be able to get the result. Last one is instances and unequal spacing. Whatever you have defined, that will be as it is, but separately you can maintain the spacing between any of the elements. Say between these two I want 50 mm, so for all it is maintaining 30, but where I have changed, it is maintaining 50. Same thing you can apply on the second direction. Say I'll select second direction, this one. In the second direction I want 2 instances at a distance of something like this. The same things are available, and say OK. This is how your result will look like. Out of those, if any particular instance you don't want, then you can deselect that. You can see this orange dot on the each specification or each instance. You can click on that orange dot, that particular instance will not be available as a result of pattern, and the same thing is applicable in all the types of pattern. Just say OK. You can see that particular instance is not available with us. If you really want that, then you can select it again, you will be getting that. Say OK. Again, rectangular pattern or any type of pattern will also maintain the parent-child relationship. If you have made any changes in your parent feature, this one, it will automatically be reflected in your child features. The same thing is also important for us when we go for the assembly. It will be helpful for us while creating the assemblies. Next type of pattern we have is circular pattern. For circular pattern, I actually would like to show you some other part. I'll just minimize, or I'll just change the window to this tire case, and I'll just delete these features for now. Yeah, what I want is I want to create the pattern of this. I'll just hide the planes. Yeah, what I want to create the pattern of this particular feature. This is a tire kind of part, so what I want is I want these ribs to be patterned. Then I'll go for circular pattern, similar kind of window with some different values it is asking. First thing first, object to pattern, I will say this one, not the current solid. Reference direction. Now I have to select the reference element or the axis about which I actually want this to be pattern. So I'll need to select this particular axis, the axis of this. For that I will have to check in the compass which axis it is. So it is showing me like it is a Z axis. If not, then what I can do is I can directly right click over here and select Z axis, or I can go for selection of this as well, because this is a circular case. By default it will select the axis only. You can see the result. Yes, what values you have. If you have instances and total angle, I want 5 quantity in 360 degree, you will get 5 quantities in 360 degree. You can see it is one is actually overlapping over here. If you want if you have instances and angular spacing, then you can give that, you will be getting the result. Okay, angular spacing and total angle, so I have total angle of say 190 degree, and between two entities angle should be 50 degree. Software will adjust, I will not. Complete crown, doesn't matter what is the angle, what we need is total number of instances. In 360 degree I want 6 results I will be getting. Same case for instances and unequal spacing. I don't want the equal spacing between the elements. Somewhere I want to vary. This spacing will be in the angular manner. You can see the angles are available. If you want to change it, just double click on that. That particular instance will automatically be shifted. Along with this, we can have crown definition. Just like we have first direction and second direction in rectangular pattern, here we have crown definition. You have one circle created. After this you want to create the second circle, then you can create that as well. You can see in the preview I am able to get the result. I'll just zoom out for you. You see this. This is the first crown, this is the second crown. Like this I can get the result. This is what the result is. Again, it will maintain the parent-child relationship. It will maintain all the specification it has. Then comes user pattern. User pattern is actually a point kind of pattern. I'll need to create some points. When I'm saying some points, it means I'll need multiple points. Only single case, yes, I can translate and I can get the result, no issue. But I'll need to create multiple points, so for that I'll go for a sketch. In a sketch I'll be creating some points. Randomly I'll be defining the points, but I have to select all the points together. That's why I'll need to define the points in the sketches. We can make them fully constrained and exit from the sketcher environment. Yes, these many points I have. What I want to pattern this, so I'll select this. I will go for user pattern. In the user pattern, in case of positions, I'll directly select the sketch, and at those locations of sketches I'll be getting the pattern result like this. This is what result I am getting at the location of points I had created. This is your 3 types of patterns: rectangular pattern, circular pattern, and user pattern. Next we have axis to axis transformation. This is your axis to axis tool for transformation. So what we can do is, say we have one axis system available at 0, 0, 0. What I will be doing, I will be defining one more axis system. So insert axis system, and as an origin I cannot select 0, 0, 0, so I will define some other point. Right click, create a point at location of say 500, 200, 100, somewhere here. That's it. Sorry, it has not been defined. I'll again go for insert axis system, 500, 200, 100, and I'll say okay. Yes, so somewhere here I have one more axis system available. This one. What I want, whatever I have created here, I want this thing to be transformed from here to here. Then I will use axis to axis. Axis to axis again will not ask me what you want to transform. Whatever you have created, the complete will be transformed. Reference, this axis system is my reference. Target, this is my target. Say okay. Just like your translation and rotation, axis to axis transformation is added into your feature tree. You don't have to do much in that. This is all about your transformation features. Next, two transformation features we have. Again, these two transformation features will help us in scaling our objects. Say by mistake I have created my part in some other dimensions. Now what I want that to be scaled. I want that to be in a reduced scale or enlarged scale. That in that case I will use this scaling feature. For that I'll open one part. This is the part of Geneva wheel. What I want this to be scaled. You can see it is created in the part body like this. This is its feature tree. Now I'll go for scaling. I'll select it. It will again not ask me what you want to scale. It will just ask me for the reference. Select the origin. This is the reference. Now define the ratio or scale factor. Say I'll reduce the scale factor. Say make it 0.5. Check the preview. It has been compressed. If I'll give the value as 2, then it will be doubled. The size of this will be doubled. Actually what I am defining is the scale factor. So the dimensions will automatically not update. Dimensions will be as it is. Just the shape and the size will update. Whatever sketch you have created the sketch of 10 mm, it will be of 10 mm only. But when you will use it, when you will apply it, those things will be updated, okay, in the visualization, in the application. Sketches will be as it is, features will be as it is. Due to this scaling, all the dimensions will be enlarged, but there will not be any changes in the dimensions. Okay, so look wise, yes, it will change, the size will change. Similar to scaling, we have one more feature, affinity. What affinity does, it also scales the object, but it gives you feasibility to define the scale factor different in different direction. First it is asking me for origin. Say this is the origin. I'll need to define the axes, xy plane. So I'll select the xy plane and x-axis. So this is the x-axis. Now what ratio you want to keep in all the directions? In x direction I want to keep the ratio as 2. In y direction I want to keep the ratio as 1.5, and in z direction I want to keep the ratio as say 5. Okay, so that will be updated. I am able to define different ratios in different directions. This is what affinity is. Whenever you appear for an interview, then this is again a most common question. What exactly is the difference between scaling and affinity? So remember this.